Do you want to know how dancers get better? They use two things. One, they do things more than once. Two, they keep track of it. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are talking about how doing the same thing multiple times can actually be really helpful for you. So tonight, we are doing Dirty, Christina Aguilera. We are going in, and this routine, hold on. Let me take you way back to 2020. It was the first time I choreographed to Dirty for my studio. And this song, for whatever reason, is like just such a magical song because a lot of people know it and a lot of people get excited by it. And as I was building up my strut program, which is the heels-based dance class that we have at the studio, this was one of those songs that I was like, it's recognizable. People are going to be excited about the song, so they're going to be excited about dancing to it. So we had this night. It went over so well that we decided to have a part 2. And it became one of the songs that like really got people started at the studio, which is so cute. And it makes so much sense because the energy of that music video and the energy of the song, the beats, just like the whole vibe of that song is like, I feel like the energy of the studio sometimes. So it would make sense that people would come to that class and see everything that we do and be so excited for more. So it has now become a staple. We do this song every 2 to 3 years, and it ignites the same level of attraction with newbies and with people who have been coming to the studio for years now. And I'm still obviously excited about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. So why do we do this? Well, for the purpose of a newbie being a dancer, so you, when you're starting, you want as much familiarity as you can get when you're starting. And sometimes it's very hard to find everything that's familiar because all you're noticing is everything that's different. So when you first start, you're noticing, okay, I don't have the same technique as the people around me. I don't have the same outfits as the girls around me. I don't know what those words mean. That's a whole different language to me. I don't speak the same language as everyone around me. I'm not understanding my learning style yet. And there's a lot of questions. And it might be that you come to that class and you actually don't know the song either. And so when you're in a room with new people, new faces, a new instructor, a new space even, a new parking lot, it can be intimidating. So the best thing to do is to figure out what's familiar. Now, with a song like Dirty by Christina, I mean, that song is hopefully so familiar to you. I hope it's familiar to you. And you can feel familiarity in that. But what happens when the song is not familiar? How do you find things that feel familiar? Well, the first is understanding that dancing is walking. So sometimes we actually talk about this because at strut, we are strutting. And at strut intro, we actually go over our strut, our heel walk. How do you walk in heels? And that's another thing that can actually be very unfamiliar for someone is being in a pair of heels. I know a lot of people don't wear heels on a regular basis. And then that could be one of the things that you might pick out and be like, actually, no, for me, that is what's familiar because I wear heels to my job every day. So I'm really good with heels. Dancing in them is another question. But what you do as a dance beginner is you find your familiarities. So think back to something that you've learned that's brand new. We've all done it. We've all been beginners at one point because we've all been babies. So we get to draw back to those moments where we've been a very beginner. And we can put ourselves in the mindset of feeling what it feels like to be a beginner, and that's going to be familiar. And I know we have this like kind of like good, bad thing going on. I always like to say good and great instead of bad and good. And one of those things that could be good, bad, is you don't like the feeling of being a beginner. You don't like what it brings up for you. It makes you feel less than. It makes you feel unworthy. It makes you feel like you're a failure. And those great things are how you persevere through those feelings. How are you able to go from this was really tough for you and this was giving you a really big problem to now look at you. And I think that's what's so cool about Dirty is now we've done this, I think 2 or 3 times in 2020. We did it in 2022 2 times. And then we're now doing it again in 2026. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th time doing it. So I know that tonight we're going to have people that have been coming since 2020. So I know that they're going to get an opportunity to reflect on their progress and where they were on that first day. Because for a lot of people, Dirty was their first class. And they're going to be able to say like, whoa, that was my first time dancing in heels. That was my first time with these people. That was my first time dancing in general and learning dance. And tonight, they'll get an opportunity to say, wow, I remember that night 6 years ago and how hard that was for me. I remember that night 3 years ago and how hard that was for me. And they'll be able to see their growth because typically I do the same choreography. Tonight, I've been going back and forth, but for the purpose of what I've been thinking and reflecting on, it would make so much sense for me to continue to do the same choreography because that would be changing the variable if I didn't. So we get a video of our class performance and we can take all of the videos that we've ever done to this song, put them side by side and see how we've grown. That's direct feedback and that fuels into us wanting to become a better dancer. And also it allows us with a heightened mind to look back and celebrate, which is something that I know it's hard to do at first. And I know that it's something that you're working on is to be able to compliment yourself and to celebrate yourself and to get over the cringe that is sometimes you. It happens. And it happens when you're learning something new. And it happens when you hear yourself on a voice message. It's just the way that we are. We are so critical. So when you get an opportunity like this, and it might not be that you get this opportunity all the time. And my challenge to you is to see how can you make something like this in your life so that you can repeat the same thing and then have actual physical data of you being able to look at your progress and being able to say and relive the moment. So for example, it could be that you are a chef. You're chefing it up in the kitchen. You're not like a chef, but you're cooking. And it could be that there's a recipe that you make every year. Actually, I think I've told you this before. I make a cake for my mom every year and it's one of the hardest things that I do, but it's such a good cake. And it's actually inspired from my friend's wedding cake. That's a whole other story for another day. And it's a almond wedding cake with a raspberry inside with lemon buttercream frosting. And every time I make the cake, I'm always like, oh my gosh, there's something that I did or didn't do or messed up or had to redo or forgot about because I don't do it as frequently. And so when I go to make this cake now, I remember my stories that I've told about making the cake last year. Oh my God, I added double flour by accident. I don't even know how it happened. And it was almost as if I made a scone cake. So now we have a joke, Josh and I and the family and some of the people at the studio because I made a scone cake. It was really good, but it was just I put too much flour in it by accident. And so I've learned so many things from making this cake and it's familiar. There's a lot of familiarity with it because I understand what ingredients, I understand things that could happen. And so when I go to approach even just cooking or even just baking, I know that there's more information. So just like you know more information about dance. You are familiarizing yourself every time you do something again, and you're becoming better at it. So what is it in your life that you can make a note about and redo it and maybe do it yearly or maybe do it every other year so that you have data of yourself from before and yourself current? And that's what I love about this night so much is being able to put those videos side by side and being able to see even looking at the shoes that I used to wear back then. Dancing in heels wasn't even a thing back in 2013. That's when I first started teaching heels. And we just used whatever heels we had in our closet. We had maybe some go-to kinds of styles, but it was really hard to find the exact shoes that we currently use now. So I was looking at one of the first videos of Dirty and I was like, oh my God, look at those shoes. They weren't dancing heels. So you can actually see my ankles working so hard to stay in the position that I want them to be in when I'm dancing. So it's really fun to look at the progress. And this goes hand in hand with reflection. We always talk about reflection and how it can be so exciting for you because I know when you're working hard for something, it's so hard to take yourself out of it and then say, you're doing great, you're killing it, because you don't feel like you're killing it yet because you haven't killed it. You're just oh, I'm doing it. And it's that perspective that you get after looking at the same thing over and over again that you actually see your progress. So I know that tonight when we do this, it's going to be really exciting. And I know when we get our videos back from Joshi, it's going to be really exciting because we'll be able to add to the catalog of all the dirty videos that we have from every night that we've done this song. So when you're thinking about coming to class and you're noticing your fears and you're noticing how your body will react to your fear, because your body's going to have a reaction. You might even catch yourself with your shoulders up to your ears. You might feel tense. You might feel sweaty. You might actually actually feel like you don't want to go, it's okay to not want to go. It's okay to not be enthusiastic about the experience. I know for myself, when I'm starting something new, Josh will sometimes be like, "Are you excited?" And I'll be like, "No." Like, I'm not excited yet until I'm actually in it. I'm usually like kind of not anxious, but like kind of just like I'm in the roller coaster line. I'm waiting in line and I'm like, okay, I guess excited is a good word, but it's not it. I'm not like excited for Santa to come. Like, I'm always excited about that. Or like excited to go on vacation. Like, that's a different excitement. But like excited to do something that is hard is like, I don't know if I would use the word excitement. Maybe you will. But I am a feeling and I could navigate that feeling. What is it though? It's not anxious. It's like anticipatory, question marky. And I do like the feeling. I don't hate the feeling. But I know that for myself, when I get into those modes, it's better for me to just like go through the motions in a way. And I love talking about things like that are difficult by doing the bare minimum. So it's like showing up, that's the bare minimum. Going, that's the bare minimum. And that's how you build your consistency. And don't forget, you're finding familiarity because you want to stay the course. When you find the more things that are familiar, like, oh, there's people here learning. Okay, I know what that feeling is like. I'm fine with it. Or, oh, like we're understanding like our spatial awareness. And I've done that before because I was like a museum tour guide and I like understood like where I needed to stand in relationship to like the pieces that I was showcasing. So whatever the case is, you're drawing from things from your actual real life and bringing them into your new world. And in this case, your new world of dance. So when you can get the opportunity, do something more than once, build it into your schedule, get yourself a place marker of some time of year that you do that one thing, see how your progress builds. And when you're doing those things repetitiously, what's the word? Repetitively. When you're doing those things repetitively, you're finding yourself more familiar and you're finding yourself more ingrained in what it is that you're learning how to do. And that feeling and that comfort is going to take over your discomfort and your fear and everything that's preventing you from doing all the things that you want to do. So I hope that this helps you. And we are so excited for Dirty tonight. And if you happen to be listening to this right now and you're like, darn, I can't believe I missed that, then I want you to know it's going to come right back around. And or we have other classes that are obviously just as fun. So I hope to see you on the dance floor. And after you listen to this, take some time and think about what that is for you in your life that you've done repetitively that you can actually look back and see progress on, and what it is that you are building familiarity with so that you're able to do the things that you really wish to do. And once you figure out what those things are, continue with them and stay the course, because there's nothing like having progress to witness and watch. And there's nothing like being able to go into an environment like a dance studio and feel like you are right where you are meant to be. So if this was helpful for you at all, it would mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend. Sharing the podcast is one of the best ways to help another dancer just like you on their dance journey. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the dance floor.